womo ne Sambra Hotel no ana bon hwenim oban kramantem ha so a womo ewa Accra Zongo Lane ene ntu betimi akọhọ na oni omo akoye adwuma kama ya ija womo no ma no so ebo no eda form boko dada ba take up en certain phones ene ho aka de bia se wo pe Infinix iPhone Samsung Tecno Yam no ni anudu ni etwem ewo dada ba take up ubenya sa phones ni na ebi wo ho oto phone na eye warranty edas no emu edruye papa no pay womo so etun sa frosebra na oni omo be yedwuma eye Talent Microfinance womo so eye sika krabia womo aba womo ebo anipa dodo na mo musika sem ejina ne nai so enu nti se wo ye ankranko enyi ko sorry na mo pe baby edi musika esie no odofo mema eno enya odadwen esanse talent for ba womo ebeboa ma osika sem no no pay etimi ejina ni nai so brane de ama odwumeko we adaroma no mobo metwi do ma media no pensem mede ebeso mo nensem no edoso na de ebedimo akotine ebiene se NPP ende day womo aonvele womo eye reverse constitution a enu yede mu nsem yede ebeba besomo anope ewo hosa sa enso so anachim ebuakwa eye overload no womo ade nsem bi ekwa ma security agencies ahodo a womo ewo my Ghana ha se womo hwe ema chief's decision ewo chieftaincy dispute no womo enka ho asema no so yede mu nsem yede ebesomo yede dwede nsem ebeka ho ede ama eye mrahebedwani Collins Adoma Kumesa wode nsem bi abetudwa wode kwama Electricity Company of Ghana and Ghana Water Limited so mo hwe ma womo improve womo services no wo 2026 a besim no so yede mu nsem yede ebesomo anope de ni jede nsem ebeka ho ede ama Selasi Ibrahim wono so chemo se eye Ghana ye television stations ahodo no womo anomugu eye Ghana movie industry no so yede mu nsem yede ebebrewo anope weni nsem ne afufro pi ayabo ano yede beso mo se no so pe mo kase wo KFM TV no so mekai wo sa no pe nsem no etwego ewe abefo ntintam video ne so Facebook and YouTube KFM TV GH no to betimi ahwe bi na wa share na wa like na wa dwenche no so di egu ase ama meka makama kenkan fa no pe wo timi nka no edin a meje so ene maami esinkuma medane me ho sema ba me ba nsem no me hya ase edi ama Ebusuafo egusu amamu ina akwaba edam asesa no pe mugusu etmu TV ho amohwe no so pe mu kase wo KFM TV ne so anope mission sem na se edi amodia eye NPP sesi ade wo mo apa eye reverse constitution a mo twemu se eye approve na eye 54 a emu eye nipa be se 66 amendment details no wo mo chese mu 54 na aboa wo mo aonvele sadiwa ebe bo ama bibia no eye wo mo national delegate conference no etimi akoso no bekoso ewo July bosumi emu ne no ana wo mo apasa adwumedie ho ntuma ebebo ama NPP amenuko no etimi afane ntuma pa edi efra.
In the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. We launch our amended Constitution 2025. DJ, give us our party song. DJ, what are you doing? DJ. New perspective.
to me Director General me
Edia NPP wo General Secretary Justin Frimpong Kodua na wono so edin sembi abetudwa wo chemo se en court wo ruling no ade 152 polling stations ahodo no wo mo chese mu be se 41 eno challenge kakraba ho a wo mo hwe se court assembly bian wo betimi ahwe na wo mo ayebibi edia fan semwen ana Justin Frimpong Kodua wo de abetu edwa.
Mr. Chairman, on December 7, 2024, from all the 152 polling stations in Padai, results have been duly counted, announced and declared by the Electoral Commission. It is interesting to note that in line with the results from the 152 polling stations, the NDC parliamentary candidate, realizing that it has lost the elections, decided to cause mayhem in Pandai, just as they did in Techiman South, Dominic Kwabena, Afanon North, Ablekuma North, Okaikwe Central, and Obuasi East. Due to the security threats at Pandai, the Electoral Commission decided to move the coalition from Pandai to Tamale. Mr. Chairman, it is also important to note that after the coalition in Tamale, our candidate, Honorable Martin Indam, won with 27,947 votes compared to NDC 24,213 votes. Mr. Chairman, it is important to state that contrary to the false impression created, which the court says that the parliamentary candidate of the NDC had no rep at the coalition center or was not present. The chairman, the regional secretary of the NDC was at the coalition center. The NDC parliamentary candidate did not show up at the coalition center because he knew he had lost. Mr. Chairman, in law, it is said that you cannot go to court and get what you have not asked for. In this particular case, the NDC candidate, somewhere 25th January 2025, decided to file a petition at the High Court, challenging 41 polling stations out of 152 polling stations. The chairman, on 24th November 2025, the High Court judge gave a ruling, and it was expected that the ruling was going to center on the 41 polling stations that were before the court. But surprisingly, the High Court judge went beyond the 41 polling stations and annulled the result of 152 polling stations. Mr. Chairman, this is very abysmal, disheartening to our democracy.
Ebusia for General Secretary Edema, the New Patriotic Party NPP Ameni Okono Justin Frimpong Kodua wono ano den semwe abetuja yenso yedibi ababe somo yeto ansem so de amodia Minister for Roads and Highways onmonya for Governance Agboja na ono so de abetuja wo share parliament boss say wo mo validation Edema road fund certificate wo che say na wo twe enko na wiye na mo wie bibia wo mo de beba beto ma shebeja fo inanim ma wo so so mati woman in some way and Minister for Roads and Highways on Monya for Kwame Governance Agboja wode abetuja yenso yedibi somo
for a road maintenance trust fund. Mr. Speaker, it is out of prudence that we decided that let's do the right thing. Indeed, when the Auditor General carried out validation of the certificate we came to meet, indeed, they discounted many of them. We saw a situation where one certificate was almost recycled between road fund and GOG. It is just important that we do these things. So as we speak, this week will be the end of the validation of the road fund certificate. The projection is that before the end of this month, the allocation made to road fund under the 2025 budget will be disbursed to the road contractors. So, Mr. Speaker, there's nothing in terms of mixed presentation in terms of those things.
Ebusianfo no ntin same way anon monyanfo Kwame Gavin Sagboja wode abetuju ayenso ye de bi aba abesom ye to ansem no so de amode a emra wode ni nsem ebewie na ranking member edema parliament road and transport committee monyanfo Kennedy osenya akwo so ebetuju wo chimse finance ministry no wo 2025 road fund no ache papa wo mo allocate farm company for say be betimi aboa ma road project ahodo koso no wometimi ewe watch say contractors ahodo a womoda akwan ahodo ano wo my Ghana isan say wo muntuo muka na sika wo muhia no wo nsan kan enti no ama ejuma ne ye no aye bisi basa ho ansem we ana onmunya for Kennedy osenya akwo no so anope wode ababetu eja
releases were done for the road fund. Nothing has been released to the road fund. And
what do you mean by that? Is it in respect of 2025 or?
For 2025.
Okay.
No single release was done to the road fund. And I was hoping that the Minister of Finance was in the chamber. I have to draw his attention to that. It is against the law. It is against the law. He cannot collect the levies and keep it without giving to the ministry to pay contractors. There are several contractors that have done several jobs that the ministry needs the money. So he cannot collect the road fund levies and keep it and not release anything. As of September, he has not released even a peso, a penny to the road ministry. And I think it is important that I draw the finance minister's attention that he's breaching the law. And he has to take a cue and ensure that he releases the money to the ministry as early as possible so that the minister can pay those contractors that have worked under the road fund project that they need their money so they can go back and continue with the project.
Ebusianfo no to onmunya for Kennedy osenya akwo no anode nsem we abetuja no pay yen so ye de bi ababesom ye de wo every sansem no no pay na ye de akonsem from the Dennis Miracle Abuaje we Dr. Mahmoud Baumia any campaign team no dinemu painte awo ha wasan NPP member no de abetuja wo chem say zip line drone delivery na wo mo kika wo my Ghana handi aban se wo de ba abeboa no wo che se eno ade bia enye se wo de be replace hospitals ahodo wo my Ghana nemom ade a eno wo mu introduce se ne be ya ebetimi a complement wo mudetimi aboa ma healthcare infrastructure no etimi ejina nenai so na asan ko nenim wo my Ghana. Dennis Miracle Abuaje ne sema wo de etu dwane bi ana yen so ye de esomwo.
Let me say fundamentally, there is no substitute to zipline.
Really?
Zero.
Really?
Hospitals, building hospitals is not a substitute to zipline. Having medical stores is not a substitute to zipline. If you want to understand zipline in its basic terms, probably look at it as an ambulance in the air. That is probably not carrying human beings, but carrying the medication to the human being that is under duress. You see, there was a time in this country where snake bites were killing people.
Sure.
Just snake bites. There was a time in this country where maternal mortality rate was so high, simply because in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., when the woman is like they say, water is broken, they need blood. And where they are, blood is not readily available. And people were dying as a result of that. And these and many more are the reasons why zipline was introduced. Remember also that in all of these conversations, there are multiple things that connect to it. So before I even come to all the other issues around it, I want us to establish the fact that there is a background to the establishment of the zipline drone system. And this is not politics. This is human lives at stake. This is the health of our country at stake. Fast forward, when zipline was being introduced, people actually played politics with it. But still, I insist, those things for me are still not relevant. Because my view is that if the person doesn't understand, the person is free to have those kind of conversations. So I remember when zipline was being introduced, people said that they will capture videos of women bathing and all manner of things. So if the same people come to office and they go after zipline, I understand. But I'm 100% convinced with what I've seen with my eyes, my experience with zipline, that these people really do not understand what zipline is. And so they say, why are we spending 170 million on zipline when we can use it to build hospitals? Ignorance. And I'm begging the president. And for me, I'm glad Hamza is here.
Ebusian Fanuti same way ana Dennis Miracle Abuaje wode abetudwa yensu ye de bi abesomo ne nsem no one face wa wosan edit tudwa bi ma we de ode nsem outside side African man penny His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wo chemu sen kebe ya wonsan en consider a year government which parliament wo mu decision a wo mu HM say zipline service no won be terminate no man penny John Dramani Mahama won share so obesan consider na wo hu de obeye e de afan same way ana Dennis Miracle Abuaje was sign Ede Etuja.
I am begging the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Mr. President, do not listen to your health minister. Do not listen to what your party people are saying. Do not endanger the lives of your citizens. Do not risk it simply because of propaganda, because of politics, and probably because of procurement interest. And now listen, we need to establish certain facts. And of all the things you will discuss this month, trust me, none is as important as zipline.
Really?
Because if you understand what zipline is and understand what zipline does, you would realize that it is something that we should not even be discussing it and treating it the manner in which we are right now. First of all, I hear the conversations and I can easily point out the absolute ignorance of what really zipline is by a lot of the people making the commentary. People assume zipline is just a substitute for unavailability of hospitals and health facilities. It's a substitute or just an alternative for unavailability of drugs in these hospitals. And so I hear people make the argument of if the drugs were available, why would we need zipline? Instead of having zipline, why don't you build hospitals? Why don't you? And that straight away tells me that, honestly, sincerely, they do not understand. And for me, I think that one of the responsibilities we have is to also make sure that it is explained very well so that people can make informed commentary about it. I've heard a lot of people, and clearly you can tell. Because immediately you are discussing zipline and you talk about building hospitals, you talk about availability of or supply of drugs that I know you don't understand what zipline does.
Ebusian for Enunti Dennis Miracle Abuaje wono anodin semwe na abetudwa yensu ye dibi ababe somo ewo kase no so ye de wo to ansem no so anope ya konsem from dia eye honorable na toshi woka NPP amani okone ho na ndedwe waba montim abekasa wo chem se NPP party ni bi no wo mo aba montim a mo kase an wono eye na toshi wo no support na kotai eye Kennedy Japan chi a wo hwe nim se wo betimi abaye ni running mate ewo my Ghana Ediama eye wo mo prime minister mo de be hihye so senkunim die mapa etimi ekoma Kennedy Japan no anna eye honorable na atohie so waba montimu a wabekasa ede afon hano peyen so ye de bi esonwo
say me vice president edi tina mako ken ho no na menua said ya me gina he me di bi enye me si obi a oba ya party card onibi on some party da onokura ya hohoro no ma ne card ma we device 8 years na me ama je adwuma te se mo me nso me di bia eye ti me sramo santro na wo mu enemy di no na nse yi na nansa me kote baako yes school feed me na me say school feeding na afi de we nyina every year manso edi bia wo mo ba be kan ka kire wo mo say candidate amo ton no mo fa ne mbra na munyai atoshi na mo say no enya say na be ma mo ato ana me pa oni brentumi say dia Yehowa hira no na kwan na ye hira mo na mo ye si an ne etu an ne fo bra na be ton wo candidate ne jai na atoshi na wo ha no ana me boa da mo ase 2023 abra ye ko election no na me ye adwuma ma Dr. Bawumia. But this time, and you may be a man who, then you may be a cosmonty. My father, Jenny catch them, say, Dia will bet me up, boy, am I a winning power, a Kennedy or Hini, a Japan. na Kennedy ho ama beyi enye se bia me ne Dr. Bawumia wo ntokwa bi da bi Dr. Bawumia ye ni papa de seso ye no ono so ye me ne ni ntokwa bia me du no pa na nyoma bi e koso wo Ghana me hwa this time there e Kennedy na esno election 2024 and esno election 2028 and we are to say wo sesa wo nan a asebie ni so mo be hwa Dr. Brian Champon Dr. Dutu Munyina no mo support Dr. Bawumia and ne wo mankasa for forms a wo mo so gine bi ana meboa enti asebie ni ho na me yes say mabahe eni atemdidie ni edidi mi wo party nim abronye bi owo ho oso wumu ana obu kon entronko a ene yese me na me say common fund adwuma yi me ne Dr. Bawumia na eye ono no tre for 5% to her for 10% to her
Ebusiafo enu nti eye ma me na atoshi wono anode nsem we abetudwa ye so ye di bi ababe somo ye gina ne nsem so na ye twa ye ho akogye aboafo nkrato aba ye ba nsem na do so na meto aso edi ama
Medo benami Ghana duko duaja ple ho duko kata. Mie chonyani ade venami cho Talent Microfinance Limited gajadopa. Mie wana susu savings, adishare, school buafo, cashback, ple bubwa okata. Nenyebe egajom de miagbo la letie tomegbeko ateun ahoga dodo kenenyebe egajom vivi la nenyebe ogahia ola ateun ava de ogai kenehia fa
tanenyebe mi foncho mi afa jom yo kenye mi afa gadodo nyawa business loan elemiashi church financing elemiashi salary loan elemiashi eye bubu li kenye personal loan nenyebe mi foncho business loan enye gadodo ikemie nana asichalao nenyebe washigba keke alum eleswe we have talent mi pepegede nwo nenye washigba leswe ne woge wo keke gedeji to talent pomonu ome nenyebe mi foncho mi afa salary loan enye gado mo mi kemi vuna mi afa jidudu dola nke ga nyu heya va talent wo payslip pe bank statement ye kwenye nwi hia na koko ho salary loan le rate mi to keke akeji church financier personal loan va nenye habobo masoli hama eji fufofo sankuo jitao olila ashibobwe keke ake mi aflegeno na no hem v choji nto jinwade vare kwereka mo popo kai ganyu heya talent kuna pohe ya ole chagbagba na do tare talent bena wo gado monwa anobo buenami akpenami
ezibe ya nyafi ke talent la
Talent Microfinance jengo amegan shipe ape letina tejipo hotame
miape kapomo yenye 050-129-1298 alo 050-128-9119 talent woga kwamanu kwanta
Talent Microfinance, your channel of wealth.
Ani, Edru Sabrace from Co. Ewa Femo. So we dreadinia, ye crowd say, when you share for Benyan Kitamodi, our dready quanso, said the way, where you manu, have a tumpo, a few way, and ye crab a shamao. Our KFM TV, Christmas don't come so.
Major different now when you say Mumbai Shrine, our KFM TV Christmas don't come in so. Send a video no a church and you do a chain and if I do run a chain, now best sign a church drum at their brono. And na ye floor sebra. Never bow no man who deru. Our KFM TV Christmas don't come in so. Send a beya ubenya fasu jobe brena ewo eso.
Tunsa edia from one mobile juma akudo ewo Ghana. Say Mumbra money embedija our KFM TV Christmas don't come so.
I don't do bet me a friend a way home true for 0548 79044 and 0246 239070. Now you know kama our KFM TV Christmas don't come in so.
KFM TV Christmas don't come in.
Yeah,
indeed.
Ebusia for your time mamu ina akwaba edamo asesa no pe muguso etmu TV no ho amohwe no so pe mu kase wo KFM TV no eso mekoso ekai wo sa no pensem no etwego ewe ya abefo ntentam video no so Facebook and YouTube KFM TV GH no to betimi ahwebi na wa share na wa like na wa dwenche no de gu ase amame kama na metu ansem no so de ama ode NPP presidential aspirant was ankane wo so afa no hwe ya disua ho nsem my Ghana her doctor ya was say educhum na ndedu wo tunsa e dia frɛ political transitions ahodo wo mo ewo Ghana education service emu se wo mo hwɛ na bibia na school fund wo mo noma bia wo mo hia no wo mo ntimi fa mo na welfare edema student no ebetimi ejina so na bibia no wo mo so wo metimi ayede se efata ewo my Ghana se ba no education sector ni mo asem we ana doctor ya o say educhum wo de abetu eja
me director general me friend ye dinkita ho me Dr. Cancer Transfer Cancer we most improved schools it mean na e buy and I make him be say yeah about credit can first term na Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh minister me fa me boa me fa abrante bia no Dr. Tando one na ichirobe deputy director general of Ghana Education Service ono na SIP no secondary education improvement projects one nation instructions so say be schools emo modern no you bit me a page o no ma de kire akoyie o ma de kire akoyie na so hwe no so etimi adan akoyie enti say wonim ba bia ne ma tochi because I didn't hear sir me ehun say so hwe be toy no eniama ye dan e wo fom enti e wo fom enti na kwan be ne be fa so esi etiti teacher fo yi eno enam sa kwa no so e my farm teachers so sa be kan ntimi nuaba se wani so ade hu no se ade ya atumi me ye hu bibi a ebe ye yie wo be ye hu bibi na emum ayi adwen se o eno ano no na se mu faili sa efi se no mo hu moden obi na ebo anti e ba sa na wo be gya o mo faili next year biem exams cancer ka kire say why can for say simple interest o mutimi nye in term now with dimrika teachers are going to be mathematics teachers momra obi amra ye be kire mo simple interest say we am betimi a kire ni ye because next year no ye mpese simple interest question ba akola bi abeden ebiti
and then Honkoma State is even for them to acknowledge the importance of even FINRO when it comes to social studies to company and also
so what do? All social studies teachers must participate in workshop. How much final year for especially should participate in workshop immediately. Say by next year, some question you be bound with me answer. That's what you do.
No, they're not doing that.
No. Why you for not catch us? Mama, to was you. Yeah, no dear. Baby, and why for because I touch be a examiners by three teachers. And to win me and boy, my wife for catch us a honey to sinner. Ka policy direction and they say professional development. All final year teachers, ye boke shiamu, shiamu TNT, ama mo suani men, sebe ya nkwala no, question way back, umbiti mi eden. Aye, enu ni this is on my own. Enti enye sa de out ho na o say, there be me de me nya hwe, fi say first no man kwala. Why ke for say a how monti ase, o so okay, mate, me de ahobrase asom. Enti when I penny say director of GS, o say accept full responsibility. I'm going to do something about it. I'm telling you what I would have done. What I would have done was to sit down with my director general. So director general, you see I deal with Nkwalani and NTS. Me pesa fear bebe. And so
Ebusiafo no nti doctor ya wo say edutwum a oye ankane wo so afo na ohwe adesua ho nsem wo my Ghana ha nsem a wo de etudwana na ye de bi abesum na nsem no offense wa wo san edi nsem we ekoma school fa mo twa wasin so hwe e wo my Ghana wo chese hwe no mo amom abemu mbu emfa woni grade a wunya ye no pema akọ wenim na yade a efa so de ebetimi abamu ede amon nsem we ana wo san ede koma school fo yi
me show mun cry. Insansam na ye keni nyina obi wo ha na brabo ebeba wieye enam san so hwe ne daachi enema nkoye akwara bi ekofa ni free kura bi ase bonkoko okoye nso hwe bi aban tua ne sika emre bi etwa mo bo ho be duru so hwe na ontimi ntua obi timi ko school bedu ta me kwen so hwe no ontimi ntua no anye bi we de na dan kokufu ado aban ka se ebetua enso hwe no kanyina nti wasi no mkoye no aban tua ho kanyina obi wo ho a onye sika enkoye biem nti we na abani nyina mo me anwene enkwala na asem we ato om no om de om na madwi om ho pa se be ye kwa be ne be fa so a mo brofo mu o me ni biem om daache enye basa enam se asem we ye den esi eno eni ade a edinkan etime mo ma hyeden omo renho ekwan bebie ama wom so ye so ko tire bi metimi atwire biem na ne daache etimi aye papa no a ye nyina person daache no eyem
Ebusiafo doctor ya wo say edutwuma wo ye ankane wo so afo na ohwe ya disua ho nsem wo my Ghana wo sign a year presidential aspirant e demand the new patriotic party NPP amenu kono wono so ne nsem a wo de ebetudwana na no peye de bi ababesum ye to ansem ne so e de wo akonsem from there eye Eastern Regional National Security Officer Francis Anodon pre wono so e de abetudwa wo chim say eye na asen kita ho dia wo ne ochehene ehyemu eye ye no wo chese aso abapa ye papa owogidie mapa ewo ni mu se sa eye kita hodi a omudie no ebetimi aboa ma eye pressing security challenges ahodo a wo mo face ewo wo mpotem ho no obetimi aso ano ede amawo
with the chieftaincy disputes. So basically my purpose here was to come and pay courtesy call on him and then to tell him most of the problems we have within his traditional area. The problems are one, Galamsey, two, chieftaincy dispute, sun winning, land gas, and then the latter one I talk about was the increasing rate of murder cases in the region. And so is a key factor in all this, especially looking at his position as the paramount chief of the Achima Buakwa and Achim area, and who has a lot of experience when it comes to such issues. So he gladly accepted for us to meet, and the discussion was fruitful. He has also acknowledged knowing most of the problems that I raise. So he is going to help us resolve most of the chieftaincy issues because it's becoming a threat to national security. Because when there is a dispute in an area, a traditional area, life and property becomes an issue. Because at the end of the day, when I don't want to cite any area because there are a lot of them, a whole lot of them, and we are dealing with almost every now and then, especially when the year is getting to an end, and a lot of them are celebrating their annual festivals and all that. That is where the problems comes, and he has gladly accepted, like I said, and so he said most of them, they have the traditional records as to who becomes a legitimate recognized chief and the selection process and everything. They have those rights and documents to back what they do. So it's appropriate, and we are also going to work alongside with them to, at the end of the day, all that we seek to achieve is that there should be peace. We live in harmony. The region, when there's peace, they will definitely bring along development and some other factors that we all need to move on as a region and as a nation. So it's been so good, so fruitful that we came. So basically, we just came to greet him and ask him to help us resolve most of the security issues, the security threat issues that are within his traditional area.
Ebusia for yet 17 so a day amount ya okopiem e wachim ebu akwa state a eye penny a woda ho eye osaje for amwetia ofori penny na wono so eden sembi abetudwa wokasafa eye illegal man miche galamse ekoso wo my Ghana ha wo chem se galamse eye ade bia ese Ghana yensuo ni yensa asiye papa na wonde onim se mpenifo ahodo a wo my Ghana ha ne titue ne aban ene eye mpenifo ahodo ehwe se wo betimi akon etia na wo so mutimi bo omhomodi ye papa masade na etimi be ma anyesa yensio ene yensa aside eseye papa e wo my Ghana ha penny eye amwetia oferi penny ne nsema wode etudwane bi ana ye de somo
Can I say I started you know my position I started this course because one it's not good it's everybody because here where's your license for commission I didn't see what about the license and go to anybody. And the one we took our people to go and stop them, you know what happened? They were throwing stones at my car. The impunity of people are all back home. They was out here back near to woman car. All I want to do was stop this menace and say yes the way back. And she had about to carry a call for swap of war. Or catch them and say, as you come out, lake now on all sand. Because they want to look good, and me looking by this, me, and I'm not done with my name, I'm saying. Me. Now, I know. And that's what you know in Nigeria. Seriously, unless you have a demented mind, not you, not the person you go mind. Why would I go by night and steal my life to that? And there's no cheap or what happened. I said, the person will go with you, or be like a stop me. Not even a buy. Then I done what I do. And yet, it took root to weaken me because I was the advocate against him. Yeah, man. The bear said, what he and I'm saying. And I suffered for that. And I okay. I'm going to see me a man of my year to achieve environment. They start looking at me differently. But that's okay. What I'm doing, and I'm here. I said, I'm saying that here too hard. So I call me for Burkina Faso. And now, so what's the about or two? No, say I dare no, and short hands, and yet for there, and yet for there, oh, two.
Ebusia fa wasan edinisem egu kwanma wasan eche musenkebeya eye impenifo ahodro a wo ewo my Ghana meche security agencies ahodro a wo ewo my Ghana wo so mutimi de respect na wo ehwe ma decision ahodro a eye House of Chiefs wo ede egu kwanma eno ebeboa ama chieftaincy dispute e hono ano abrase no e wo say security agencies ahodro no mutimi hwe na wo sum na eboa ama basabasa ya e wo hono ano ebetimi abrase some way ana nana eyo for penny amwetia wode abetudwa
what is it? Yes, you yendi amani quantify wait and matter close yendi actually are going to the process you wait so long and any other person be or said the police and the law enforcement should stop there. You have the sadia and you're trying to will be here for when you're here. Ask the minister's office. Yeah, they go too. I yes, it's an institution like this. They say, who and you saw him. How dare anybody come and tell us? Say, we'll be sorry, I'll show you the castle that day and tell them to know you're trying to feel. It weakens us. It makes the whole thing as a joke. Yeah, who better know who is on him? We have 943 the palaces and villages and towns. And say, okay, now I say, see, if you're so, and I say, oh, yeah, corner, We are trying to find out one piece until we are there when you're there. I could hear or hint in the baby and go social on what problem? Arrest them. They are the ones I'll bet you was adding a piece for one of us. Don't go no here now. What do you call about 20 years? So open up. There's a way to do. And no course on all anyway. To what that's a problem. The infiltration of politicians and power our side, trying to give direction our Yahini.
Ebusuafo ye to ansem ne so edi ama odia eye Operation Smile Ghana wo mo eye ko bi a wo mo ebo ama bibia no eye aresabia ahodo a wo my Ghana wo mo kɔ ho wo mo a wo mo hie bi wo mo ni bi ni ade ade wo mo boabo mo a na eno ana beto odwa se ya abofra bi a ya wo ne fofra eye ni de wo mo abandan no eye nurse ni bi ebo ne homode ekofa na eye Cape Coast Teaching Hospital ana asem amikan esi wo ho mo chese nurse ni no midwife ni no hwe na masesi ade eye Operation Smile Ghana and so de ho abegima wo mo eboa abofreye papa no mu chem se afi bia no 120 children ana mo wo infinifini mantem Western and a Western North region ana wo mo hwe ma sa Operation Smile Ghana wo mutimi so sa mo friend mu ehwe mo ye papa nsem a wo mo de tu dwane ebi ana yeso ye de esom no.
We're here and we heard that somebody abandoned a baby because the child was born with cleft lip, and so they brought the child to us, and we have accepted to put the child on our nutritional support until the child attains the right age, the right weight, and the right HB to go through surgery. And if all goes well, by the grace of God, that child will be operated upon early part of first or second quarter next year to ensure the child survives. So we're working hand in hand with the hospital to ensure this child is taken care of.
Have you been able to establish contact with the said mother?
Well, it is not our responsibility to establish contact or to trace the mother. Ours is to ensure the interest of the child, to ensure the child is given adequate support, go through reconstructive processes to ensure that the mother will one day see this child and regrets. That is
Ebusuafo anunti Operation Smile Ghana and penny for an omode nsem we abetudwa yen so ye de bi ababe so migina so na mada ne me ho sima ba me ba me de nsem no ekọ edwadie emu. Yadewo ekọ edwedie nsem dia deputy ranking member Edema Parliament Energy Committee Eyora Collins Adoma Komensa no ede ansem bia betudwa wode kwama Electricity Company of Ghana and Ghana Water Company Limited ta wo hwe ma eye wo mo buo no wo mo entity so kakra wo mo HSE eye wo mo new tariff aba mo nsem no wa afia ebesim no 2026 muno ana ebe hyase aye adwuma ewo my Ghana no nti ECG ene Ghana Water Limited no wo mo hwe ma wo mo dwumedi a mo di no wo mo enfangu kwan mo boko se ne be betimi aboa manual tariff enso etimi abo adwuma ye papa ewo my Ghana ha.
They woke up to hear that they've gone ahead to increase electricity by how much? Electricity has gone up by 8.86 and then water has gone up by 15.92%. Now, I've taken my time to read the release. Now, and this morning I've had the chance to speak to some officials of PRC. This particular increment is to take care of capital expenditure and some aspect of operational expenditures. So this ECG increment of 9.something% is just to deal with the utilities capital requirements for the period 2025 to 2029 or 2030. Yes, what this means is that between this period, they are not coming back to us to request for another increment in time to take off capital expenditure. However, if you read the release, Ghanaians should brace themselves because this has nothing to do with the quarterly adjustment. Indeed, by March, depending on the economic factors, we should expect another increment. So this has nothing to do with the quarterly adjustment that takes place every quarter. This is just the major one that we do every 3 to 5 years, and normally to take care of major capital expenditures. If you read the statement from PRC, they talk about mini grids, off-site areas where it's very difficult to reach. Government is rolling out, and in the budget they did indicate that they are rolling out some mini grids installations in some hard-to-reach areas. This increment is going to take care of that and other capital expenditures. So yes, ordinarily.
Ebusiafo enu ntin nsem we ana edi aba besomo ewe dwadie mu mejina so na madane me ho sima ba me ba me den nsem no eko ene dwadie emu. Yadewo ekweni jedien semu dia Ghanaian actress awosan a film producer ewo my Ghana Hasilasi Ibrahim na wono odi abetudwa wo chem se TV stations ahodo a womo ewo my Ghana han womo ana mama Ghana ye movie industry no etimi eguye papa ondi onfa so boni mbo bia se local television ewo my Ghana han no ana womo ahwe ma Ghana ye film industry no etimi akolapse. Silasi Ibrahim ni sema wodi etudwa no ebi enye.
I keep saying that, look, the TV channels are not helping us. I'll say it again. I don't care what they think. I don't care what they say. I've said it before and they bashed me. But you know what? I'll keep saying it until they help us. Because when you go to Nigeria, you don't find them watching any Ghanaian movie. But Ghana, anything foreign, it's fine. Everything Ghana is bad. They will criticize, they will not go and watch. Say, here, I can't figure it out. Is it that you are from one? I don't get it. We don't know how to celebrate our own. Name what it is. And that is what has killed Ghana movie till today. You shoot a content and send to TV channels. They look into your eyes and tell you, remember 1,000 Ghana. When I spent over $20,000, $30,000, you won't even say, Mommy, me mau have po. Yet they'll go and buy movies that are 10 years old who had made their money out of cinema and everything in Nigeria. 500 Ghana, 1,000 Ghana. You want us to sell it the same to you? Do you want to collapse? You've done it. You see the problem. So it's not. So when people say that, oh, Ghana film is dead, my heart bleeds. But how many people can you explain to? It started from the TV channel.
Ebusiafo enu film producer Silasi Ibrahim wono anode nsem we abetudwa ye gina ni nsem so ne de anopa nsem no ye ninia aba na wie ye beda ya boafo ina ase KFM Musical Center dada bateka bana Talent Microfinance womo ananope womo timi bon mechido ma mede nsem no mede eba besom ye beda wa otifi abribia no so du efidie no etu KFM awhwe no ye da mu ina ase okenkan fo anope woteme nka no edin ameje so ane mami esi enkroma yakamina.